For today's Business Matters, President Trump will rescind a set of Biden-era restrictions that aim to keep advanced chips out of the hands of foreign adversaries. But those curbs have been panned by tech giants. The restrictions introduced in the final days of the Biden administration were to take effect next week. Countries were sorted into 3 tiers, subject to specific AI-related trade regulation. The top tier, which includes the UK, Spain, Japan, Germany, and Ireland, would have faced the least restrictions. The bottom tier, including China and Russia, would have faced the strictest constraints. Critics of the restrictions expressed concerns over countries in the middle tier, saying those countries might look to China or elsewhere if the regulations became active. And OpenAI will continue to be a non-profit business. The artificial intelligence firm is ditching plans to convert into a for-profit business. CEO and co-founder Sam Altman says the decision comes after meeting with civil leaders and the Attorney General offices in California and Delaware. The nonprofit does have a for-profit arm, which will transition into a public benefit corporation. The announcement came ahead of a Senate meeting to discuss AI. Krispy Kreme and McDonald's are scaling back their relationship. Last year, the two franchises unveiled a plan where Krispy Kreme would sell its glazed pastries at all of roughly 13,000 McDonald's locations in the U.S. But during an earnings release on Thursday, officials with the donut chain said they're pausing the partnership at 2,400 locations. Krispy Kreme says the pullback will help both it and McDonald's get to a profitable business model. Both chains are dealing with economic issues. McDonald's just had its worst quarter since the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. And Krispy Kreme has seen its stock lose 65% of its value over the past year. The curtain has closed on AMC's first quarter to poor reviews, but it's exiting stage left and ushering in an impressive second act. The credits are rolling for the world's largest cinema operator. Its first quarter is starring revenue dips and deeper losses. AMC reported that losses widened to more than $202 million. The same time last year, the loss was closer to $160 million. Revenue also fell to $862 million. That's almost a $100 million dip from last year. The first quarter featured flops like Mickey 17 and Snow White, but CEO Adam Aron called these results a distorting anomaly that has already corrected itself. He noted any negative conclusions about the industry based on the first quarter are likely erroneous. The current quarter got a jump start with titles like Minecraft and Sinners. Momentum is picking up with last weekend's Thunderbolts. Aaron shared that April's industry-wide domestic box office was double that of the year before. And so far, May's box office is on track for the same. Japanese auto giant Toyota says US tariffs will cost its business $1.3 billion over just April and May alone. The world's biggest car maker presented a muted outlook for profits today. The company said it expects its operating profit to fall by about a fifth for the fiscal year ending in March. Toyota cited Japan's strong currency as a contributing factor. The outlook is a sharp turnaround from about a year ago when it reported the highest annual profit ever recorded by a Japanese firm. A 25% tariff on vehicles imported into the U.S. took effect last month. It was extended to auto parts last week. And Foxconn is making a sharp turn from smartphones to electric vehicles. The iPhone maker has announced plans to introduce an EV model for Mitsubishi Motors. The Japanese automaker and Foxconn subsidiary Foxtron Vehicles Technologies signed a non-bidding deal known as a Memorandum of Understanding. The EV model will be designed by Foxconn, who has a joint venture with Taiwanese car maker Yulon Motor, who will build the car. The company said they will finalize their agreement and expect the model to roll out by the end of the year. The joint partnership comes as Japanese car makers face increased competition from Chinese rivals and as China is emerging as a leader in the EV market. Bill Gates today pledging to give away $200 billion through his charitable foundation by 2045. The 69-year-old billionaire and co-founder of Microsoft says he's speeding up his plans to divest almost all of his entire fortune. NTD Shar Marshall has more.
Bill Gates pledged on Thursday to give away almost his entire personal wealth over the next 2 decades. And he said some $200 billion would be given away through his foundation before it shuts down on December 31st, 2045.
The foundation so far, during the 25 years, has given away a little bit more than $100 billion.
In a blog post published Thursday, Gates said he wants to accelerate the foundation's work to help save and improve lives around the world and hopes the move will set a model for other billionaires.
And I have no doubt there will be rich people in the future. Even today, there's many people richer than I am, and they will understand 21 years from now what's gone on with AI and geopolitics, which diseases remain.
He, along with ex-wife Melinda French Gates and Warren Buffett, launched the Giving Pledge in 2010 to encourage wealthy individuals to donate most of their fortunes to charitable causes, either during their lifetimes or in their wills.
And I think we can get, the majority of our goals, done in the next 20 years by doubling down with this spend down approach.
Gates' current net worth is $108 billion. Bloomberg's Billionaire Index ranks him as the 5th wealthiest person in the world. Now he says his net worth will fall 99% by 2045. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
Jobless claims are back down after rising the week before. The number of initial claims for unemployment benefits for the week ending May 3rd dropped by 13,000 to 228,000. That's according to just released Department of Labor data. The numbers are in line with what economists were expecting. First-time claims are considered a proxy for layoffs. In general, weekly jobless claims sit at near pre-pandemic levels, below historic averages. Despite economic uncertainty, the initial claims figure does not include federal workers. Those are tracked separately and reported a week later. The European Commission proposes countermeasures today on $100 billion of U.S. imports if negotiations with Washington fail. The proposed retaliatory tariffs come in response to President Trump's global trade shakeup. The new measures would target American wine, fish, aircraft, cars, and car parts as well. American chemicals, electrical equipment, health products, and machinery will be hit as well. The Commission said it was launching a month-long consultation for EU members and businesses to react. The 27-nation bloc currently faces 25% tariffs on its steel, aluminum, and cars, and reciprocal tariffs of 10% for almost all other goods. United Health is being sued by its shareholders. In a proposed class action, shareholders say the insurers defrauded them after the shooting of CEO Brian Thompson last year. Shareholders claim United Health Group allegedly concealed how backlash from the death was damaging the business. This comes after the insurer lowered its outlook for the year. Last month, United Health cut its adjusted profit per share forecast. In response, the stock took a nosedive, wiping out about $119 billion in market value. The old forecast was issued one day before Thompson's death. The insurer says the update is due to higher costs in its Medicare business. The lawsuit is seeking unspecified damages. New Air Force One jets might be delivered in 2027 before President Donald Trump's second term ends. This from a top Air Force official. While still behind the original delivery date of 2022, this would be 1 to 2 years earlier than Boeing had most recently predicted. Trump has expressed disappointment about the delays and was reportedly looking at buying a different jet to use on an interim basis. Air Force Acting Acquisitions Chief Darlene Costello said the revised timeline came out of recent negotiations between Boeing and the Air Force. Boeing said it had no comment. President Trump says he'll bring up the case of jailed Hong Kong pro-democracy campaigner and media tycoon Jimmy Lai as part of ongoing U.S. trade talks with China. In a radio interview with Hugh Hewitt yesterday, Trump said he thinks talking about Jimmy Lai is a very good idea and added, quote, "We'll put it down as part of the negotiation." Lai started the Apple Daily newspaper in Hong Kong with the aim of maintaining free speech. The newspaper closed down in 2021 after authorities raided their offices and froze their accounts. Lai was arrested and charged under a sweeping so-called national security law that Beijing imposed on Hong Kong. The law has been internationally criticized as suppressive and draconian. The appetite for Restaurant Brands International is picking up. For its first quarter, though, the largest names in its portfolio posted same-store sales declines and missed Wall Street expectations. This was at Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons. But CEO Josh Kobza said momentum has improved meaningfully going into the second quarter. This has given the company confidence to hold on to its forecast for the year. It's National Have a Cookie Day. On this day in 1886, the first Coca-Cola was served in Atlanta, Georgia. A local pharmacist produced the syrup. He took it to a pharmacy in Atlanta where it was mixed with carbonated water. The soda fountain drink was marketed as a tonic for most common ailments and soda for 5 cents a glass. It was sold for. Early advertising included hand-painted oilcloth signs reading Coca-Cola that appeared on store awnings. A savvy businessman named Asa G. Candler eventually bought the business, and the rest is history. Now on to stocks. U.S. markets rallied today after a new U.S.-UK trade deal and optimism over upcoming U.S.-China talks. Britain agreed to cut tariffs and boost access for U.S. goods, while Trump hinted at substantial negotiations with China this weekend. Airline and Boeing shares surged and semiconductor stocks rose on expectations of relaxed AI chip export rules. Mixed economic data showed falling jobless claims, but declining productivity with that as well. Notable stock moves include gains for Tapestry and sharp losses for Krispy Kreme. And that's it for today on Business Matters.